Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains and thanks for joining me for another video. This is the next part in the series of doing this whole scene here. And last week we got this backdrop all taken care of. We took care of all of that. Alright, so now we're going to move over just a little bit more because now we need to join this scene here with the existing scene that's over here. And you can see a few things here. Number one, you can see the mirror in the back, and it's blue because there's a protective coating on it, and I haven't peeled it off yet because that mirror is very easy to damage. So I want to leave that for the last possible second to peel that off. But what I did do was I finished this road here. Okay, it still needs to be painted, and I'm going to take care of that in a few minutes. And then we need to add the road that goes from the parking lot right here to this building. We need to join that to this road out here. And I want to do that before I do any painting. So what I've done is I went into my scrap bin once again and I dug out a piece of styrene and I cut it for what I wanted there. And it was already painted gray, so it was very easy to do. And then I added in the back, because we have the cork bed here, we need to raise it up. Alright, so I added some little scraps of styrene to the top of that just to make it a nice even transition, and it doesn't over time collapse and make a hill or anything like that I don't want. And the other thing I did was I cut a straight line right across here so that this piece of road will go right in, and I cleaned out everything inside of here so that we have a good match. And now what I want to do is I want to add some super glue. I'm going to glue this in with super glue, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to add this down in here like this, and then on this piece here I'm going to add glue onto this. And then we're just going to put a little bit up where this road is going to meet the rails, so that's going to be up here like that. Now we can push this whole piece of road into place. Goes like that, and that goes in there like that. Come on now, there we go. And this goes in just like this. Now I got a little squeeze out of the glue up here. I'm just going to pull that off like that. Now we need just to dry up, and then we can move on to the next. Okay, so the road is pretty much in there. I'm not going to mess with it too much more. But now I want to paint all of this road here, and that all has to get done before I can peel the plastic off the mirror. So I've already mixed up some gray paint, which is right here, and I have my brush, and I'm just going to paint that real quick. And I'm going to brush outwards from the repair that we did because I want this to blend in. Okay? It's going to look a little messed up for right now, but that's okay. It'll all come together. So what I want to do now is I want to get right up to the mirror without getting it on. Like that. Okay, now all I need after this, the only thing left is a little bit of brown paint on the sides of this, and wherever is not brown we need to touch that up. So let me get out the brown paint and we'll get that touched up. Alright, so I have the brown paint. I'm not even going to clean my brush, right? I'm just going to go right in there and touch all this up. It really doesn't matter. We just want anything but white showing up in there. Alright, and that should do it. I'm going to call it a day at that, and I think we're looking pretty good. Alright, so I raised up the camera a little bit so you can see a little bit better. So now a road, we have this road in here, and I've continued this road right into the mirror. At this point we can probably peel off the paper on the mirror and get a look. Now you can see there's a little white line here. Now that's joint compound that got left on, and I'm going to have to come back with a small mini brush and kind of wash that off of there. It will come off, it's just going to take a little bit of work. But we can peel this off. Now to peel off this paper on here, you need a little piece of tape to get it started, like this. Okay? Then we can grab this and just pull it right off of there. Now you can kind of see what's going on in there, right? So the only thing left now is I need to touch up that little bit. And as I'm looking at it in the mirror and how that's all sitting, I'm wondering if maybe, I think we can just touch that with some gray. Right up in here like this. Just very carefully. Yeah, I think that's good enough, and I'll come back later with the mini brush, and we'll clean up a little bit more in there, just to give that a nice clean look. But there you go. So that's the whole thing, and that's the effect we were after. So, and obviously, yes, this is a mirror image in there and it looks identical to this, but once we add trees into this area, and I want them to overhang to cover the tops of the mirror, and over on this side to cover the tops, so a lot of this isn't going to be seen. The road will just go into the mirror and around the corner, and that'll be that. That's it for that right there. Like I said, I'm going to come back a little bit more and clean up this line a little bit. And we'll get that squared away. And then of course I still need to do the line in the road here, but that's no big deal. That'll take me a minute or two. So now I can clean up my stuff, and I actually wanted to do a lot more down here for this video. What I wanted was I wanted to start scenicking all of this. Okay, I wanted to start all of this stuff here, and well, I got a little sidetracked, all right, and I didn't get a chance to get myself set up to do any of this, and it's too late now for this week. So let me show you what I got sidetracked with. I'm gonna bring the camera upstairs and we'll take a look at what I was doing that stopped me from doing this. Alright, so here's the workbench, and this is what I've been a little preoccupied with, and I got going into other stuff and it's been distracting me from what I'm doing. I have to paint all of these cars, right? And you've seen that I showed you that I 3D printed all of these on my printer, and now they need to be all detail painted, okay? But when I paint these, I have to hold them in my fingers like this, and it's not really working out too well because I just end up, there are times when I just make a mess of things and it's not really working out. You know, I can only paint a little bit at a time because I have to hold on to them. So I started looking up something to hold these little items other than my hands. And what I was doing here for a little while is I was taping them, tape on the bottom, and I would tape them to the end of a stick. And the problem with that is I could never lay it down. I always had to make sure it was hanging over the edge of the table or whatever, you know. I would clip them up in my spray booth to dry. It was just a huge pain. So I thought there's got to be a better way. Okay, so I went online and I started looking around and I started thinking I wanted a miniature holder that can stand on its own on the table and hold something on top of it, and then I could spin the holder around in my fingers and paint all the way around it and just set it down and walk away and come back as I needed. Sounds pretty simple, but I don't know. So I went and found some stuff, and this is what I found. This is the image I found, and I 3D printed that. All right. So after I printed it, like everything I do, I always feel like I want to do a little bit more. So I ended up printing it with a gray resin, and then I painted it black. And I was looking at it and it looked a little plain to me, so I just wanted to add my own touch to it. So this is what I came up with. All right, and there's the miniature right on top with a little bit of poster adhesive, the sticky stuff where you can stick posters to the wall without anything, and it hangs on there really nicely. I can do what I want. I can spin it in my fingers and get all the way around it, and it's really not a problem. I airbrushed. I wanted to do something a little more with a little more flair, so I added some airbrushing to it, and then I clear coated the whole thing. And I just finished this last night, and I'm going to start using this. But that's the thing. And then if I have something that's too big for this end, I can always flip it over and use this side, and it'll still stand on the table. Just what I was looking for. All right. So that's it. That's what I've been doing, and I think it's going to work out really well. So anyway, because of that, what we've done downstairs today, that's all I got for this week. I really don't have much more. Hopefully next week we can jump back on it and really get some stuff done. I got to sit down and paint some trees, and not paint some trees, but build some trees for that whole area. You know, that's an hour or two to get those done. And then to start the video, we'll install all those and get that done and do more of the scenery in that area and get it finished up. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this week. That's all I have. I wish I had more. If you're just finding me for the first time and any of this interests you, please by all means subscribe to the channel. Love to have you along. You can visit my website, mikestrains.wordpress.com. There you can find pictures of my layout and some of the other stuff that I've done, if you haven't already seen that or been following the videos. So until next time, happy modeling.